Hey, Patriots, welcome back to Patriot Life with Candice Keller. I'm so glad to see you today. I haven't been here for a couple days, been traveling with Patriot America and doing some pro-life speaking, so I really missed everybody. Want to tell you we're going to stick with our mantra, enough tyranny, enough talk, get involved, get educated, or get out of the way. So we have so much to talk about today. I've got everything in the world in front of me. This is my first time to be in front of you by myself for a couple of podcasts. So that means I'm going to go here and there and everywhere today. First of all, we are going to be in Lucas County on May the 1st in Toledo. I've never been to Toledo. I'm really looking forward to going up there with Patriot America. Expecting a big crowd up there. And we have all the information on our website, patriotamerica76.com. And then May the 3rd, 2 days later, we will be in Montgomery County at Washington Heights Baptist Church there, 7 o'clock in the evening. That's a Monday. And again, on our tour with a lot of people, and it's going to be a great evening. We're, again, expecting a large crowd. So I'm hoping you all have purchased a book that we have stuck with throughout this process, The Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates. It's on our website. It's only $15. This book is 69 pages. You can read it in an hour. It is a book that absolutely changed my life. It stays on my nightstand next to my Bible. It has really changed the way that I've looked at government in our country and particularly in our state, and it applies in every state. So about 2-3 weeks ago, we put out our face mask card. And this is the card that you need that tells you about the laws regarding face masks, not just in Ohio, but these laws apply nationwide because they're laws under the under the FDA. So we have these available, and they're life-changing. You can go in and give them to restaurant owners, business owners, and they realize that they're not allowed to force you to wear a face mask because it's considered a medical device and they're not doctors. So, and we also have our new vaccine cards, which talk about vaccine mandates and that we're hearing more and more about so much on the news. So these are also available for you. Tells you why people are not allowed to force you to get a vaccination. I never thought I'd ever have to say this, but I do. And so today, anyway, moving on. I want to talk to you just a little bit about, first of all, there was a bill introduced in the Ohio House. I'm not sure it's been formally introduced yet, but there is a bill called House Bill 248, put out by Representative Jennifer Gross from down here in the 52nd House District of Ohio. This is a bill that forbids businesses to force you to get a vaccination in order to work there. Now, this is a very controversial bill. It's causing quite a stir because while I am all about businesses running themselves, making their own rules, we have to look out for the civil rights of people also. And so there's been a lot of talk about private business. And the truth is the Constitution describes businesses as places of public accommodation. In other words, your home is private. But places that serve you food or sell you things, those are public accommodations. And so when it comes to public accommodation, that falls under a different category than a private business. Same thing with a dentist office, doctor's office, hospital, all that. So even medical facilities with this bill will not be able to force you to get a vaccination in order to keep your job or be hired there. It's just a 4-page bill. You can get online and look it up. It's very straightforward. To my understanding, I believe, here's the representatives that co-sponsored it. Loychuk, Vitale, Fowler, Click, Creech, Brinkman, Wiggum, Stoltzfus, Jordan, Dean, Zeltwanger, McLean, Marin, Edwards, and Ferguson, all terrific conservatives. So that's 12 or so. There are 99 representatives. That means 12 out of 99. It's not great. It's not great. You want 50 at least to get your bills passed. So that means people who have not come onto the bill either don't like the bill, they're afraid of the bill, they're afraid of hospitals, they're afraid of kickback. I don't know what they're afraid of. But they need to listen to the voters and the people because the people want a law like this to pass in Indiana just now today, passed their vaccine passport. They're not doing that in Indiana. So once again, Indiana trumped us. Yay, Indiana. I want to let you know the Secretary of State in Ohio, a lot of people, until you get into politics, you don't really understand the role that office holders play in your life. But every state has a Secretary of State, and they are just what they sound like. They are the Secretary of the state, and they oversee the way the state is run according to elections. And you can get online and print out a candidate requirement guide about what is required of candidates. This is a really terrific resource, and it's not, this isn't exactly, exciting reading, but if you want to know how candidates have to act, it's all in here. And there's a lot of other resources that we look at. Okay, let's talk about Central Committee. What is Central Committee and why does that matter to you, and why am I even mentioning it? And so I have a big folder in front of me that has my Central Committee in it, and I'll tell you what it is. Every neighborhood is called a precinct. So your neighborhood's a precinct. It's like a little village or a little kingdom. And every precinct has a person that represents that neighborhood, and they're called a Central Committee person or a precinct captain. And they're elected, and they have a vote. And so it happens in every county in the nation. Every state in the nation has a Central Committee for the Republican Party and one for the Democrat Party. And the purpose of Central Committee is to find candidates that reflect your values and run them on the ticket for that party. Now, in my county, there's 380,000 people in my county. Which means they're divided into lots of little neighborhoods, And so there's 244 neighborhoods or precincts. So there's 244 Central Committee members, both Republican and Democrat. That's a lot of people. So this is a very populated area of Ohio. Central Committee meets a couple times a year. They have a chairman, a central chairman, and an executive chairman. And they meet sometimes to endorse candidates, but most of the time they work to elect candidates that reflect your values and what you want and what your platform says. And there's always a lot of turmoil. Central Committee is kind of like a big family in that you're going to have factions and you're going to have more conservative members and more liberal members, but everybody has to decide on the candidates that they want for that county. And so if you're sitting there thinking, I wish that's 3 minutes of my life I wish I had back. Let me tell you something. When you serve on Central Committee, you suddenly become very important to your elected officials because you have a vote, and you're going to be helping to get them to be the candidate that they want to be. And so it's very important for you to get involved. Now, when I first came to Central Committee, I didn't really know anything about how to do an election or anything, and they taught me how to go door to door or hang door knockers on doorknobs. And I'd put out yard signs. One time I put out 400 yard signs by myself for a candidate that I really liked, who actually did not win, but I still learned a lot. And you learn how hard it is to get elected. And the truth is, a candidate that works hard will make a better office holder. Because if they work hard to get elected, they're going to work hard for you. And they should be accessible to you. You should all know who your state representative is. If you don't know, get online and find out. When you find out their phone number, because that's online too. Get to know them. Tell them you want to meet with them. They should meet with you. They should meet with you. Whether they do a town hall or whether they want to meet at a coffee shop, find out who they are and find out if they're what you want in your state representative or your state senator. Or, you can meet with your county treasurer, meet with your county auditor. Every county has 3 commissioners in Ohio. The commissioners are totally running your county. They control every penny that's spent in your county. You have a county sheriff. Let's see, who else is there? You have an auditor and you have a recorder. All of those people are beholden to Central Committee members. And you'll get to know them, and you'll find out if they are really who you want in office. So we have at Patriot America, we go through the list of how you find out what precinct you live in. It's all online under your county elections. Look, like for me, it's Butler County. I go to Butler County Board of Elections to see who where I live, which precinct I live in, and then I see what district I'm in, and then I look who my people are. Now, I happen to know who my office holders are because I've been doing this a while. But as you do this and you begin to reach out to people, you'll learn how really, really important you are as a voter. I've said this before many times. There's nothing more terrifying to any office holder than the words, "I voted for you and I live in your district." Because believe me, you have their attention when they say that, and they're going to listen to what you say. One of the most enjoyable things that I did in the legislature was meeting with my voters, my constituents, and getting to know people. It was a great education, and I, of course, like people. People that serve in public office should like people. They should like to meet with people, and they should be good listeners. Now, today, we actually heard of a state rep close by here in Butler County that made the statement. She said, and it was really over this controversial vaccination bill, 248, because people start calling, they start calling wanting to know what their rep's doing. And she said, I don't really want to hear from these voters. I don't want to hear from these constituents. When you have a representative that makes statements like that, you need a new representative, because this is a nation that is run, according to our book that we are sticking with, this nation is run by the lesser magistrates. The lesser magistrates is us. They must listen to us because we are the voters. This is the only nation on earth that I know like this that is totally run by the people. When you get your Declaration of Independence out and your Constitution, they're usually in a book like this together, and we give these away for free everywhere we go. The Constitution was never written to you. It was written to the government. It starts out like this: Congress shall make no law. Our founders were so brilliant that they understood the corruption in the heart of man, their desire to control you. They came out from under a British king that, remember, they taxed them on tea, taxed them on stamps, taxed them as much as they could on everything, and didn't give them any representation until finally our nation went to war to be free. And so our founders understood tyranny. And so when they began to write down what they wanted, if you go and look at the Declaration of Independence, you probably haven't read it in a while, it is a total list of accusations toward King George. I mean, it is brutally frank and direct, and he took it that way. And believe me, it infuriated him when he saw it, which is why we went to war. And then just about 8 or 10 years later, we had to have a constitution to base our laws on, and that was all set forth by the founders. So the main thing you need to know, though, is that we are the ones running this country. Now, right now, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like we're living under tyranny, and we are, in a way. But I'm very hopeful because I'm continuing to push forward with Patriot, and not just me, but every state in the union has got people like me pushing forward with this same message that, hey, we're tired of being controlled by these renegade governors. And what we don't understand is there's 3 things I hear daily. Number 1 is, I don't want to wear this mask if I don't want to. The second thing is, I don't want to take a vaccination if I don't want to. And the third thing is, why is my governor acting like this? And why is my representative nowhere to be found? That's the 3 things I hear all the time. So there's a lot of things going on right now in the news, but I got to tell you, those are the 3 things that it all comes back to. Where does our power lie? The power lies in the people, and that is you. So don't ever underestimate the power that you have as a voter. You certainly have a voice, and now is the time for it to be heard. When we get together and we meet, I give out a lot of paperwork to you and to keep you informed. But if you really want to make a difference, you need to think about running for your local central committee if you don't have a person there or someone that's not doing anything. Replace them. Run against them if you don't even know who they are. If you don't even know who they are, they're not doing their job. Or think about higher office. And when you come to Patriot, we'll show you, we're going to start showing you soon how to win, how to run, how to win, and how to take our state back, and it'll be done locally. So I know I've given you a lot of information today. One more thing, when you get on, you need to get on your county Board of Elections website. Kind of look around. You can here's mine, Butler County, 4 years ago, because the election was 4 years ago. This tells me every single person holding office in my whole county. Every central committee seat tells me how many votes they got, tells me how much they won by. Probably 80% of the races that were run were uncontested. Uncontested. They need an opponent. Having multiple opponents makes for better candidates and better choices. So please email me at patriotamerica76@gmail.com. I get those emails directly. I'm the only one who gets them because everything comes through me because I'm the founder of Patriot. And I will answer you. In fact, I call a lot of people, and I want to thank you for your friendship. I've gotten to know a lot of people in many counties and many states even, and we're all like-minded, and it's really great to get to know you. Again, we've got a May 2nd event. We also have a May 8th event. We're also going to Clark County, May 15th. May 22nd is our huge event at Solid Rock Church. We are expecting well over 1,000 people. So I thank you for joining me today. I'll be back next week, I think, with this very special guest. And pretty soon I'm going to have a congressional candidate on here and a gubernatorial candidate. So stay tuned to Patriot, and we'll see you next time.